You better try and get some sleep.
How's she doing?
Not good. You gotta put her back on the job, boss.
No way.
If you don't put her back to work now, she'll never get back.
And that's the problem.
Welcome, sir.
Kenny? So you think Vladich is your man?
Well, it wouldn't be the first time Vladich has used a car bomb to solve a personnel problem. I need your advice, sir. McDonough. I should send her back to the UK, let her do a CPD brief, make her take some leave, and God knows she's due some.
But you don't want to?
She let her guard down once. She got clobbered. She's pretty tough, but she gets one more slap from me. I just don't know how she'll react.
There was a time, Kenny, when you would have been delighted to offload her.
Well, I must be getting soft.
Then do what you think's in her best interests. Keep her on the case, but no interaction with witnesses.
Thank you. If nothing else, we'll get right up Frost's nose.
You two getting on, Kenny?
Oh, like a house on fire, sir.
So, what's it like working under a woman?
I voted for Maggie Thatcher, didn't I?
Did you?
I believe I found the connection between Amos and Vladich.
At a village called Gorenica, 1993, during the Bosnian War.
The Cumbrians were protecting aid convoys coming into the village.
A Serb force under Vladich blocked the road. Some of Amos's men, he was only a second lieutenant then, protested and were promptly taken hostage. Amos managed to establish a rapport with Vladich and got his men released.
There's a photo coming through.
Excellent work, Mr. Vickery. Do we know why Amos left the army?
Gambling problem. Deep in debt. Couldn't pay his mess bill. CO had to discharge him.
Did you find any connection to Major Garvey?
Yes, Garvey was also a Cumbrian, but during the Bosnian War, he was a liaison officer with the UN forces. When the Gorenica incident was reported, he was sent to the scene.
So he must have met Vladich.
Possibly, but I can't find proof.
Sir, what happened to the village where the road was blocked?
I don't know. I'll look into it.
Not until you've followed up Amos's connections with other Bosnian Serbs, sir. Especially after he was kicked out of the army.
Right you are.
We should get Major Garvey in, sir.
Why? Because he might have met Vladich 10 years ago?
Finally got Amos's phone records from the UK. He made more than one call early Tuesday morning. 0350, he warned the person we assume is Vladich. 0320, he made another call. I checked the number. It's Garvey.
Major have eyes in Dragorje.
How many men?
3.
Do you recognise that voice, sir?
Kieran Amos. But I don't believe it. Kieran just wouldn't do this.
Well, his death seems to prove it. Somebody wanted him silenced.
Amos made that call at 0350 on the morning of the murders. Do you know who he called at 0320?
He called me.
And said what?
He said his firm had been offered work in Kosovo. He wanted to know about the security situation there.
He called you in the middle of the night for a travel guide.
Yes.
And that's all he discussed.
Yes.
Bullshit. You told him where your men were. You're as big a traitor as he is.
You take that back, Sergeant Major.
Well, how else could he find out? 3 of your men died, sir. And what did you tell him?
He said the choppers flying in and out of the base were keeping the whole town awake. He asked me what was going on. I told him to watch out for news from Dragorje. I said my lads were about to land a big fish.
Is that all?
It was enough, wasn't it?
Enough to finish your career. A bullet. Do we know what kind?
One is not certain, but it is 5.56 mil. So it could have come from an M16.
It's what the SAS are carrying. But you're saying the SAS shot Amos.
If Garvey's involved, he'd have a motive to keep Amos quiet. He shoots him, he puts him in the car and blows it up to destroy the evidence.
I'm sorry, but it doesn't make sense.
Really? Tell us why, Joe.
First of all, I think if Amos was shot, I probably would have heard it. I was close behind him.
Yes, I remember. Have you heard of a silencer?
Yes, but I still would have heard the empty cases hitting the floor.
Told you, an unhealthy fascination for guns. But how do you explain the bullet?
I don't know, sir.
Maybe it wasn't Amos in the car.
Who else could it be?
Who else did the SAS shoot?
You mean the guy with the gunshot wound who was removed from the hospital? He still had a bullet in him?
Oh, so he just volunteered to be blown up?
Well, he was dead already. You remember what the doc said about his chances?
You seriously think this is a possibility?
Amos helped Vladic evade capture from Dragorje. Vladic is grateful. He gives Amos the perfect escape route.
Well, it's easy to check. Just do a DNA match against the samples in the car.
Well, if it's true, Amos is still alive and he's got a 12-hour start on us. Hippie, set up a border watch. Bruce, fax Amos's mug to Interpol. Joe, call Forney, set up the DNA thing. If that's all right with you, Harriet.
Yes. Good.
You think he might revisit old haunts?
What's so old? This cafe, it's in Tuzla.
So?
Well, so I've been stationed here a year, remember? And this place, it only opened 3 months ago.
Well, she's supposed to have died 2 years ago.
Well, the only reason we think she's dead is because Amos told us, and as he was talking to McDonough at the time, why on earth would he be telling the truth?
Do you know her, sir?
Yeah, I met her a few times. Samira Hadjic, Kieran's ex-girlfriend.
When did you last see her, sir?
About 3 weeks ago. At this bar, in fact. Lads used to drink there sometimes.
What do you know about her political affiliations?
I don't think she has any.
Why did she break up with Amos, sir?
Kieran never said. I think it happened on his last tour in Bosnia, about 2 years ago.
But he still carries her photo.
He always said she was the love of his life.
Thank you, Steve. That was Forney. None of the documents in Amos's room connect him to the weapons at the farm.
So he's not an arms smuggler?
No. Just a murderer. Let's hope that the love of his life gives us something.
You asked about my wife. Worked brilliantly.
Vladic has been spotted in the French sector. They're tracking him. You two close down here and follow on.
Šta ćete popit?
Samira Hadjic?
And your British army.
How do you know?
The gun under your jacket. What do you want?
I want to talk about Kieran.
I heard what happened. What sort of bastard would do such a thing? Emine, uđi unutra. How did you know Kieran?
I was sleeping with him. Maybe I was even falling in love with him. And then I heard he had a fiancée.
Must have been a big surprise.
Yes. I asked him about you and he said you were dead. So you not being dead is another big surprise. What I want to know is, was it over between you?
He's dead. What does it matter?
For my peace of mind. I don't fall easily for anyone. I'd like to think I wasn't just a quick screw.
Relax. Me and Kieran were over.
I bet you were the love of his life. Pity you didn't get to enjoy him more.
Sergeant McDonough, I'm sending through a copy of the post-mortem ballistics report.
Thanks, sir.
And I found out about that village, Gorenicha. It's pretty grim stuff.
What are you doing?
I thought you were with Frost.
Told her I'd be more useful here. So what are you doing?
Stand there. We're the SAS, okay? We're at the farm inside the barn. There's the door. We're both shot in the back, automatic rifle rounds, but we still managed to fire. Third man gets shot. Back and side, again, automatic rifle. But according to the ballistics report, this man also got shot from the front by a small caliber weapon.
Okay, the killers attacked front and back simultaneously.
But the ground to the front of the barn is open, look. Why on earth did the SAS let them get so close? Aren't they supposed to be the best soldiers in the world?
What are you trying to do, Joe?
To understand how Amos could be involved in this.
Money, he was in debt.
There has to be a better reason. The Vickery found out what happened in Gorenicha. By the time the Serb roadblock was lifted, all the men of the village had been killed, all the women raped. Amos let that happen. I think he's trying to make amends.
Well, you're trying to make yourself feel better about sleeping with him.
You know what? Piss off! You don't want to work this out.
What's to work out? Amos made the phone call, 3 men died.
But why did he do it?
SIB? Yeah, she is. No, why don't you just tell me, sir? Just tell me. Well, yeah, I've been keeping Mr. Vickery busy. You checked the war crimes indictment against Vladic at the International Court of Justice at The Hague. The indictment included an affidavit from a woman called Samira Hadjic. She was from the village of Gorenicha. She was gang raped. Her father and her brothers all murdered while the UN waited on the other side of the hill. Amos does have a reason. He's turned the whole bloody thing upside down. Samira would hate Vladic and so would Amos.
So, who killed the men at the farm?
I don't know, maybe it's a private vendetta. Whatever it is, it's a bloody mess. We should call Burns.
The pistol must have fired first, not last.
What are you talking about?
Who could get so close to the SAS? Someone they knew. Garvey said his men would drink at Samira's cafe. They let her walk right in. They didn't want to give themselves away.
We're closed.
We know what happened at Gorenicha.
So do I. You had to come here with guns to tell me.
You were at the farm at Dragorje 4 days ago.
Never heard of it.
We think you have. We think it was you Amos tried to warn.
You know where he is, don't you?
Yeah, blown to pieces.
He's alive.
If you find him, give him my love.
We're more interested in you. What you know about the weapons at the farm. Who your friends are. It's pretty impressive to take out an SAS patrol and fake a car bomb.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a victim here, remember? A mother trying to bring up her only boy.
Then come with us. We'll see if your fingerprints match the ones we found at the farm. If they don't, we'll be the first to say sorry.
You shoot the child, that's good! Let me pistol.
Tell him to